I just worked a shift at a restaurant for the first time in about a year. Since I've lived out in Washington, I've been trying to find a restaurant job in the area. Unfortunately, my mom kind of lives in the middle of nowhere, so it was hard for me to do so, but I finally found one and did a shift today. I consider myself to be a fairly perceptive person. I think that I read people fairly well, or situations, or in general, just like when I'm around somebody, I take in a lot of their nonverbal and even verbal communication in determining the situation, what's going on, understanding a person, things like that. Super useful tool for being a server in general. But one thing I've always noticed and that I've like picked up on working in hospitality for the last 10 years, I work a regular full-time 9 to 5 job as well as hospitality. And in a 9 to 5 job, you're not ever really getting to see the real person you're speaking to because of the whole necessity for professionalism in a 9 to 5. But in a service industry job, hospitality job, you get to meet a bunch of different kinds of characters and learn a lot about people. A lot of people aren't realizing that when you're at a restaurant, and I like this is very clear because sometimes people kind of act out of pocket, you're very much being perceived. You're very much giving off information to people without you knowing it. But one thing I've always picked up on is when I'm with a table and it's a family, a mother, a father, or maybe a mother and a mother, whatever the situation is. Usually more common with a mother and a father, and they have younger kids. They have kids probably like 8 and below who don't really have a lot of autonomy. Depending on who is asked about what the kids want, you'll learn a lot about how involved the parents are. Specifically, more so the father. Anytime I've served a table and they have younger kids and it's a mother and a father, and I ask, what do the kids want for drinks, food, whatever? If the father immediately just looks to the mother, that can tell you how involved he is actually in those kids' lives. That will tell you how much he knows about his own kids. Are they really something he is mindful of, or are they just an extension of himself that he doesn't really take care of much? Today I served a family that had 2 younger kids, and the mother was off maybe at the bathroom or something. And I asked, hey, do you know what you guys are gonna have for drinks? And the father said, I'm gonna have this, my wife's gonna have this. I don't really know what the kids want. Talk to your fucking kids, bro. What do you mean? Oh, I just don't know what they like usually. And I was like, are they not your fucking kids? And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. How do you have 2 kids and you don't know what they could possibly drink? Or in the time that you've been sitting at this table and the wife was not at the table, you couldn't communicate with them to understand what they might drink. Weird parenting, very weird parenting. And this is like what comes with the whole like provider and like stay-at-home mom thing, is that oftentimes you do like when women are like, oh, I take on the brunt of the work. They are like in terms of like child rearing and taking care of the children. If your husband can't describe the things that your kid likes, you didn't have kids with the right person. Respectfully.